Yes. Councilman Mack?
Here.
Councilwoman Randolph here. Vice Mayor Washington?
Present.
And, Mayor Garber.
Here, please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item is the approval of the agenda. There are amendments. We have taken some discussion items from the workshop and we will place them below our council decisions. The oath of office portion will be at the next meeting, which is January 6th. Under the, wait, was that wrong?
No, you have a choice if that's what you want to do, though.
Is that the choice you're making?
No, we're gonna select and then we'll swear them in at the next council meeting.
I thought we were doing both at the end of the meeting.
No, Attorney Shepherd said you can do the vote now, and then you're not swearing them in until the next meeting.
You can. You have options to do it either way.
Yes,
And if you want to do the swearing in at the next meeting, you can. They can invite their family and all that stuff.
Which
And if
is,
you want to do it today, because again, if it's at the end of the agenda, there will be nothing for them to decide. So either way works legally.
so should we do it at the end if people,
After we've gone through the agenda, we can swear them in.
That's
Because it doesn't make sense to swear them in before we do the agenda
So
because
it's-
they're gonna have to sit in the seat.
right.
is that, so are there any? So we can do the swearing in at the end of tonight's meeting. And then they're seated at the next meeting.
So we're gonna vote tonight?
We vote tonight.
Yeah, that's for.
So if you're okay, we're gonna do the swearing in at the end of tonight's.
And then also, Mayor, upon the council decision, 2025-43, 2025-44, and 2025-45 been added on as walk-ons as well,
Under discussions.
council decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, 2025-43, 2025-44. And then 2025-45, we would do that all tonight if we're gonna do the swearing in at the end of the.
Well, 2025-43 and 2025-44 pertains to whoever is selected to sit in seat number 3. 2025-45
Yes,
is
yes.
authorization for foreclosure.
Okay. Okay,
Unless I missed something I sent in today, 2025-40, to be moved to council decisions.
and that,
That's what you,
and that was something that I said should be done right here in the open. You make that request.
yes, okay, I'll make
That's
that
what we're doing
request now.
But, okay, let me finish with, with these updates and then.
Okay.
So the resolutions that Mr. Daniels just stated are also part of the agenda as council decisions. And they're attached, sitting at your seat. They were at your seat. Any questions on that? So those are all the changes I have. Councilwoman, you want to move?
Items 2 and 3 on the consent agenda to council's decision.
All right.
In the minutes.
Oh, and the, under consent agenda, the approval of town council meeting minutes, you'll have the minutes at the next meeting, so that's been removed. It's item number 1 under the consent agenda. I promise, with that last amendment, is there a motion for approval?
Sure.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, the agenda has been approved with those amendments. We're now ready for confirmation of appointment of Marlon R. Daniels as Chief Administrative Officer.
Sure.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second with questions.
Wait. Do you need to read the preamble? Okay, one more.
Resolution 2025-41. The resolution of the Town Council of the Historic Town of Eatonville confirming Chief Administrative Officer CAO provided for conflict, severability, and effective date.
You have heard the preamble, now is there a motion? So,
Second question.
pick one,
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman, question, go ahead.
Oh, so me? Okay, well, first of all, nobody wants this gentleman in this seat more than me, I can guarantee you that. But to be fair across the board and best practice, as long as I've been sitting here, it's been almost 10 years. Anybody that's out in this capacity know how important this seat is, and I feel like he's doing a terrific job. But neither here or there, I do feel like I could move forward with making him still the interim CAO until after the election, because it's gonna be another governing body up here after the election, and I wanna be all fair across the board. We're doing that opposed to making him the CAO now because it's only right for him. So I'm pretty much protecting him and the council. If anybody know what I'm talking about, because I don't want him to serve as a acting, CAO. And then boom, somebody else get in office and then they decide something else. So I think him serving as interim would definitely benefit the town and him and his board up here, opposed to just put him in that permanent position at this moment. That's just my opinion, and I respect you, and you know that. I just feel like that would be the best result. Like I said, we've already moved, and it's already been, properly moved in second, so we're gonna vote our conviction on it. But as for me, I want to see him sit in this seat, but I want to see him sit in this seat after the election, because I know it's gonna be a change of events that's gonna take place after March 7th, whenever we get the new administration sworn in. So just to the fairness of you, that's just my opinion on it. I don't know how anybody else feel about it, but that's where I'm at with that.
There's no other comments? All right. So it has been moved and seconded. Yeah.
What's your recommendation?
For the appointment is Mr. Daniels. All right, it has been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's always a yay.
Yes.
All right, so we move forward.
I do have a question for Brett.
Yes.
Would you like for his swearing in to be done now or at the end of the meeting?
Good, yeah. I'll keep moving going.
All right, thanks. All right. The next item is, and thank you, Council. The next item is the confirmation of appointment of an individual as council member to council seat number 3 until the next council municipal election. Ms. King, would you please read the preamble?
Now, for the record, I thought we was doing that towards the end.
You want to oath at the end.
The
The oath will
appointment.
be at the end.
We did the vote.
We're gonna take the vote.
Okay.
Just like we did just now with the CAO. Same thing.
I thought the vote makes it official though.
No, the swearing in, the vote makes him subject to sunshine right away, but the swearing in is what puts him in the seat.
All right. I am clear now.
Now, where's my the only one? Okay.
Resolution 2025-42, a resolution of the Town Council of the Historic Town of Eatonville declaring a vacancy in Town Council position number 3, appointing an individual to fill the vacancy for January 2nd, 2026, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date. And before we approve that, we will have to write in
The name of,
the appointment.
all right,
So will we go individual, or how we do this?
so I can go ahead and make the motion. I move that we replace as temporary appointment, Ms. Ruby Britt for seat 3.
That's a motion.
That is the motion.
Can you repeat that, please?
My motion is that we choose Ruthie Critton to be our temporary replacement for seat 3. So is there a second?
You died for the lack of second. All right.
But if I can't speak without second, could I, before moving forward?
And then we can.
Yeah, I want to speak on behalf of this. Okay, first of all, like I said, each candidate that have been interviewed and selected for this particular position, you know, these are hard decisions that we have to make up here. Let's not forget that. And I love each and every candidate that have you know, had that opportunity to go through the interviewing process. And I feel like all you guys are capable of sitting up here doing the job that we need you to do, especially for the citizens. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of different things and a lot of different factors that stand in the way of a lot of decision making. You know what I'm saying? These are tough decisions that we have to make. It doesn't mean that we don't think you're not capable of doing the job, but you know, it's a lot of other variables that play a role in it. So with that being said, I just want to make that clear while there won't be no misunderstanding. So what moving forward. So I just wanted to get some clarity on how I felt about it. I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for me, but I do work for the citizens of Eatonville. But you know, to the citizens and to the people that are selected, that's how I feel about it. So no hard feelings at all whatsoever. All right.
Does anyone have another name?
I have a name, please. Mr. Charles Barganier.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
You make a
Motion
motion.
and second.
You can't do both. You do one of those.
So it dies.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna select Miss Jordan Ware, Miss Jordan Ware for the occupancy for seat 3, and that's my motion.
So
Is,
there needs to be a second, so there's a motion that's.
Second.
is there a
Now we
second?
have a motion on the floor.
All right, all in favor, say
Aye.
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 All opposed? Nay.
Okay, so
If
it's
they-
no, it's a 2-2 tie, so yes, it
So
fails.
it's yeah.
It fails, and so, but we don't have a tie between the candidates, so we have no selection. There wouldn't be a tiebreaker, but only if there was 2 candidates who made it through to a tie round. So right now, we don't have a replacement, so you can continue. Don't we have a time problem though?
You got 30 days. 30 days to fill this
So Wednesday,
vacancy.
the 30 days expire,
January 2nd,
so you
which is
need,
before the next meeting.
you need to have a special meeting between now and then, because you don't have any more calendar meetings to make the appointment if none of these are going to be selected.
And then you can send.
Anybody who, as long as it's this meeting, somebody who voted on the winning side, but see, there was only one motion, which was on the floor. Nothing else got to a motion. So
Well,
somebody on the, and there was no winning side here either, so.
But at this time, my attention is gonna be to the clerk. I'm calling for a special meeting effective immediately in a timely manner. So that'll be within the 72-hour window of this meeting. So we definitely need to address this. We said we got 4, that's why they got an odd number, because of things like this that maybe could occur. And this seat needs to be filled sooner than later. And like I stated before, I know we got a lot of great candidates that are evolving, trying to sit in this seat, but I think most importantly, we made it our vote. You know what I'm saying? That's that's one of the things that we get to do up here is make votes based off of how we look at it and what's, you know, that's educated for the town also, and what's gonna be for the betterment of the town, I think. So we definitely need to move forward with making this happen, or either rescinding a vote or having a special meeting to do this again. Now, you can't rescind your vote on,
So that will be within 72 hours. So that will be
Friday.
this Friday. And attorney, you can help walk through it.
Yeah.
They can bring back these same candidates, or they want to bring someone else new in, they can do that as well.
Right. And that, there's still only gonna be, because that's why we're trying to fill a seat, so.
Right.
Somebody would have to change their minds on one or more of the candidates in order for that meeting to be successful. Also, the question of a motion to reconsider, that's inappropriate simply because to be considered, there has to have been a motion that prevailed and no motion prevailed. And the motion to rescind would also imply that something passed to rescind. You can do a motion to rescind at any time and anybody can do it, but nothing passed, so there's nothing to rescind. There's literally nothing that has been decided.
so it's like a clean slate.
You're starting over, but with the same candidates and the same four people. So unless somebody changes their vote, it's going nowhere.
We'll bring someone.
And hopefully,
You can bring someone new.
Oh, yeah, no, you can bring somebody new. Yes.
but I'm just saying, though, it may, like, I just don't wanna be, having no misinterpretation of the people out here, thinking that we can't come back in a special meeting and vote a different way because we can.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wanna make that clear and out for the public, for the people that don't know. We have to educate them on how this processing is done, because this is a very unique situation. Very unique situation that, I've never been in. I've never been in this situation here, as long as I've been an elected official. So I know it's normally done different, what I'm saying? We normally have it's done a lot different than this, put it that way.
And that's why, Councilman, during workshop, I was clear to state that per the charter, you have 90 days, so March 2nd. So if you keep coming to an impasse, you have a special meeting, you keep having a special meeting, at some point, you're gonna have to say, it's gonna be 4 people sitting up here until the next election happens.
And that's the deadline for that is January. What is 30 days up?
January 2nd,
So it's gotta be before then, or you're gonna be in a special election.
which is gonna be how much?
$11,000, depending
Yeah,
on.
we can't do that. And if I can say this, being that we're in the meeting, I don't wanna be here too long, but I have to say this. I have to say it publicly because I think it's important. I'm not gonna say the names, but for one candidate, it reflects on a lot of different things that could be, I ain't gonna say a conflict of interest, but it's gonna be a tight window, if I may say, because of the severeness of this person running for a particular seat that doesn't identify with this seat here, and you have to vacate that seat to be qualified to run for the seat that you're gonna run for. Am I right?
Yes, but you wouldn't have to do that because of the way it works. You have to be vacated the seat you currently hold before you take the new seat. So you could literally resign in time to qualify, but the resignation wouldn't be effective until just before, like the day before, or even the day of, but before you're sworn in to the new position. As an example, in Apopka, we have 2 of the current council candidates running for the mayor's position, and both have submitted. Well, one is a county commissioner who submitted the resignation. The other is a city councilman, and they both resigned in time to start the qualifying period, the 10 days in advance. But their resignations aren't effective until literally the swearing in date of the new mayor. So one of them is going to win, and one of them is not. We'll see how it goes.
So, okay, but with that being said, because I heard you earlier, and I've been trying to wrap my head around the whole ordeal of it. And like I stated before, it's just a very unique situation, because even with that happening, right, by vacating that seat just to do what you're going to do originally, that leaves this seat. If no one, I guess whoever the candidate is going to be for seat 3 will be that candidate.
Yeah, I mean, and I would assume that on qualifying, somebody will qualify for seat 3, which becomes vacant again
Right,
at March.
right.
And so whether that's one candidate or 3, I don't know. And the one who's holding the seat, if it happens to be that specific person.
So that window is like a week. Is like how tight is
qualifying?
Yeah.
Qualifying January 16th through the 22nd.
16th to the 22nd.
So
qualifying week.
Okay, so by them qualifying for that, they can still sit in capacity of,
Yes. Being qualified is not the issue. You cannot hold both offices at the same time. So you have to resign from that office, in this case, C3, before you became the mayor, if you got elected mayor.
right,
As long as the resignation is made 10 days before qualifying, but is effective on the date you would become mayor, then there's no possibility of you crossing over and serving at the same time. That's the constitutional prohibition. You can't have two offices at the same time.
okay, well, like I said, though, I've already put it out there, I wanna have a special meeting, I guess that'll take place on Friday.
So, in the essence of time,
Oh, right now.
are you all available Friday for a 5 o'clock, 5:30 meeting
Can you do something earlier?
during the day?
Yeah. Cause Friday is a very, like, the rest, it's a holiday, people, you know.
But you just called.
But I'm saying, no, like, but I wanna be fair across the
Are you
board.
talking about
I don't know if it's gonna be a Friday, it could be a Thursday,
No, it's 72 hours, so it has
or it
to
could
be.
be Monday. Within a timely manner, that's within a timely manner, anything 72 hours or,
Or more.
you know what I'm saying, is.
72 hours more. So
efficient.
Friday's the earliest it could be, so. The
Say
easy
Monday
thing,
then, let's go with Monday,
so you poll
Monday.
everybody for Monday.
I'm available Monday.
Are you all available Monday?
Available Monday. As long as we got a quorum is 3 people.
It has to be at least 3, correct?
But then
So if it's somebody that can't be here, that's fine too.
But hold on a second.
But
Tell me what you
if
said.
you only have 3, you have to have unanimous. Whoever was being selected, all of them would have to vote for that position or they couldn't get elected. Or,
Why? Because we only got 4 sitting up there?
no, because in order to a quorum doesn't mean anything if it's 3 out of a total of 5 that are supposed to sit here unless all 3 vote for the thing, because it's called the rule of 3s. In a 5-member body, at least 3 have to vote for it. And if only 3 show up, all 3 have to vote.
Let's say I wasn't here tonight, let's say I was ill.
Then all 3 would have to vote for
Everyone has to vote
whatever.
for the same person.
Same issue. You'd have a quorum, but nothing would pass unless all 3 were unanimous.
You get something, that's why you are attorneys, and I appreciate you sharing that information.
So since something was said earlier, I think before we leave this room and phone calls start, that I think one of the reasons that we are saying that a certain person should not be in that seat is the very reason the person should be. Because many times when someone's running for office, we do 1 or 2 debates and you get a snippet. But if we can place the person in the seat, then we'll get a better feel of how someone will govern. And that should not be held against anyone.
I don't say anybody shouldn't sit in the seat.
And I'm just speaking.
Because I'm the only one spoke on it, that's why I'm speaking.
The other thing is, being vocal and focused and knowledgeable. I just think that when we leave here, that, we think about what would benefit the people, because everyone, they're great nominees, but we have an opportunity for the citizens to really see the person or the person and actually whoever's chosen. So
I kind of say the same thing you said, Meryl. I think every candidate is a great candidate.
then
We're going to select one.
we're on one board.
For the record, are we gonna establish a special meeting on Monday, the 22nd? Or are we gonna stay with Friday, the 19th?
Monday would be better for me.
Okay, and are we gonna?
Monday would be better for me also.
Monday. That's stakeholders.
This will go.
What's the stakeholders?
No, this will override that anyway, because we have a precedent here, we up on the time constraint. We will go with what the charter says within the 30 days, so.
So will 5:30 work?
5:30 is fine for me.
5:30 work for everyone, okay. So the special meeting will be set for December the 22nd at 5:30 p.m.
Sounds good.
You all want to send recommendations in ahead of time, or you all, because basically when you come in, I mean, what do y'all want to go ahead and start the process now?
I think what we'll do is
Say the same
Keep
stuff
it
we
anonymous.
said tonight.
Like, keep it to yourself until you come to the actual meeting. I don't think anybody should, get a candidate that they, cause like I said, though, a lot of different things can happen from here to Monday. You know what I'm saying?
So you
I
all,
don't,
I just wanna make sure y'all have clarity. You all gonna present that person that night,
that night,
and then you all will go ahead and have a conversation with that person ahead of time to make sure they're interested, cause what you don't wanna do is come up here and put a name out, and that person say, no, I don't wanna do that. Cause then it's gonna be egg on your face, and then.
no, we're gonna be very aware of who we selecting, you know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna be here, just like the three candidates here now. Because they were selected by us.
So I can exchange it now? Okay, can we just? we-
It's just kind of politics
we
for
just
those
need
three
to move-
candidates.
Let's just move on.
That's what it's about. That's
Yeah.
about ton of politics.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll kind of move on, if it's okay. All right, next item on the agenda is proclamation for the 2026 election. Town of Eatonville, Florida, proclamation, office of the mayor. Whereas the town of Eatonville will hold its general town election on Tuesday, March 7th, 2026, during the established Town of Eatonville general election. And whereas section 5.03 of the town charter provides town elections shall be conducted in accordance with the general election laws of the state of Florida, chapters 97.106 Florida statutes as amended. Regular town elections shall be held on the first Saturday in March of each election year. And whereas all qualifications and elections for the offices of town council and mayor shall be conducted on a nonpartisan basis without regard for designation of political party affiliation of any candidate, nominee, or any nomination, petition, or ballot. And now therefore be it resolved that by the power vested in me as mayor of the town of Eatonville, Florida, I, Angie Gardner, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, March 7th, 2026 as election day for the purpose of electing officials for the following seats of the town of Eatonville's town council. Mayor seat number 1 and council seats number 2 and 3. Voting shall take place between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on March 7th, 2026 at the Town Hall, 307 East Kennedy Boulevard, Eatonville, Florida. The town of Eatonville Clerk's Office, with the support of the Orange County Supervisor of Elections, and staff shall be in charge of conducting the election in accordance with the election laws of the state of Florida, and also serve as the appointed election board. A town canvassing board shall be established for the purposes of canvassing ballots and election results. The canvassing board shall be composed of the town clerk and 2 citizens who shall be selected by majority vote of the town council at the time the election is called. The qualifying period for the town's March 2026 general election will open at 12 noon Friday, January 16th, through Friday, January 23rd, no later than 12 noon. This proclamation will be posted in 3 public places and shall remain so posted for the purpose of informing the public of said election. Issued this 16th day of December 2025, in witness whereof I hereunto have set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Eatonville to be affixed. Honorable Angie Gardner, Mayor Veronica L. King, Town Clerk. The next proclamation is for cooking. I don't want to say cooking with Kim.
Cooking Kim.
Cooking Kim. It is cooking with Kim. Okay.
On here it says cooking Kim.
You'll get a one with cooking with
Cooking
Kim.
is Kim.
And this founder, Kim Middleton, for ongoing dedication and commitment to the town of Eatonville. Whereas Cooking with Kim, formerly known as Kim's Kitchen, is a family-based business built by founder Kim Middleton and is located within the historic town of Eatonville at 307 West Kennedy Boulevard, Eatonville, Florida. And whereas Cooking with Kim is a casual destination for delightful soul food and is a champion of providing Southern cooked meals to the Eatonville community throughout many years, it is praised for its flavorful food and generous portions served as a blessing to all. And whereas Cooking with Kim, with an influence of Asian spices and ingredients, has become known for many popular food dishes, not limited to baked chicken, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and a variety of delicious desserts, just to name a few. And whereas Cooking with Kim is sure to provide a hearty, warm, inviting atmosphere, serving up a diverse menu featuring fresh ingredients and creative dishes that cater to all tastes. It promises a satisfying fine dining experience for everyone who decides to stop into this warm, inviting eatery. And whereas the town of Eatonville recognizes Cooking with Kim for its ongoing commitment and dedication to providing homemade hot dinners to families during the annual Thanksgiving Cooking with Kim Feed My People event, serving over 400 meals to the families of Eatonville. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Eatonville, Orange County, Florida, along with Mayor Angie Gardner, Vice Mayor Theo Washington, Council members Taurus Mack and Wanda Randolph, honors the legacy and contributions of Cooking with Kim for its unselfish efforts in meeting the needs of the town of Eatonville and local surrounding communities. In witness thereof, whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Eatonville, Florida, to be affixed this 16th day of December 2025, attested by Veronica L. King, Town Clerk.
Official, but she ain't the food said she been cooking out of the house. The whole family.
My daughter. I don't need some stuff. Yes, man. Okay. You work. My daughter. Yeah, 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 no. Yeah. Oh, it's your work.
It's like, oh, let's go back to.
Well, y'all know I love everybody. I love community. I love to cook. I love to feed the people.
We love and appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for town of Eatonville. And this is my hometown too, you know. I love Eatonville. I love my community. Always be my home. I don't want to go any place but Lord will. I want to stay around here. If I want to be millionaire, I'll go where they walk this in the world, but I love my people. Thank you. And thank you for everybody support me and stick by me, listen to my big mouth.
Our next proclamation is for the annual Markel Foodsgiving. Proclamation, Office of the Mayor, Town of Eatonville, Florida, honoring the annual Markel Foodsgiving Eatonville Community Thanksgiving Drive for its ongoing dedication and commitment to the town of Eatonville. Whereas Markel Foodsgiving, an NBA player and the Fultz family, hosts and celebrates the annual Markel Foodsgiving Thanksgiving Food Drive on the Monday before Thanksgiving, providing food for over 1,500 household members in the Eatonville community. And whereas Markel Foods, along with the Fultz family, expresses their gratitude for collaborations with local entities and nonprofit organizations, sharing moments that recognize families. The partnerships consist of Second Harvest Food Bank, St. Lawrence AME Church, Town of Eatonville, the Life Center Church, Ward Chapel, Gamma Delta, Omega Theta Chapter, Eatonville Chamber of Commerce, Mount Tabor, community organizations, and volunteers. And whereas Markel Foodsgiving brings as part of the annual Markel Foodsgiving Eatonville Community Thanksgiving Drive a truckload of food joined with dozens of volunteers who help to box up food items for families, reflecting on the blessings of Thanksgiving, goodwill, and peace to all men, people. And whereas Markel Foodsgiving is sure to provide much happiness community ties, and support to the community, the Eatonville community. It brings the reward of fulfillment with a feeling that will continue to move Mr. Fuchs and the Fuchs family to action in the many years to come. And whereas the town of Eatonville recognizes Markel Foodscaping for its ongoing commitment and dedication to providing food boxes to assist over 15 households during the holidays. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Eatonville, Orange County, Florida, along with Mayor Angie Gardner, Vice Mayor Theo Washington, council members Taurus Mack and Wanda Randolph, honors the legacy and contributions of Markel Foodsgiving and the Foods family for their unselfish efforts in meeting the needs of the town of Eatonville and local surrounding communities. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Eatonville, Florida, to be affixed this 16th day of December 2025. Angie Gardner, Mayor, attested by Veronica L. King, Town.
Thank you. We are going down. Thank you, thank you so much. Yeah. Look, don't kick me out now.
Thank you.
Not going to say much, but really want to say thank you, and just provide a little bit of background. So my son started playing for I'm Ebony Folks, I'm Markel's mom. And my son started playing for the Magic in 2019. And we came from Philadelphia and it was rather rough. And first person I ran to is Mr. Cole. And Mr. Cole invited me over to learn about Eatonville. I didn't know much about Eatonville, but once I came over, and he gave me a tour, and I met Manny from Hostdime, who was doing turkeys for the community. I asked, how can we help? And I just fell in love with the town. So I want to thank you all for welcoming us in with open arms. And it seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year. And I have to say, from being from Washington, D.C., being in Philadelphia, sometimes we're met with entitlement when we do these things. And I haven't experienced that here in Eatonville. And that's what makes us want to keep coming back. And we're committed to Eatonville to do this every Thanksgiving for as long as we.
We definitely thank all of the partnerships with our community givers. We are now ready for citizen participation.
Yes, our first one will be Joyce Harvey.
I know, Mayor, I know. I came in and said I didn't have nothing to say tonight, and you said, just wait. Okay, so I'm ready. First of all, thank you guys for being complimentary of the people and staff who work with us. Okay? Second, my hair was gonna turn white all at once when I thought about the possibility that Mr. Daniels would be interim and not at least permanent for whatever the term is. He is our only protection at this election from scandal, no matter who's elected. He has proven to be fair, balanced, holding people accountable. We have had problems with this, and hello everyone, since the beginning of time. He has proven himself. So thank you. Councilman Mack, I understand your concern, but I am so relieved that if somebody comes in and wants to get rid of him, it's gonna be a fight. And I'm gonna be in the trenches with you, because you have served this community, and I thank you. One other thing, just for clarity, and Mr. Shepherd, if all three, if Deanie, Mr. Barganier, and Ruthie were running for mayor, and they were appointed to the council seat, they could serve the entire term
That's right.
and then the next day become a mayor and the other person, so they wouldn't be missed.
That is correct.
Okay, I kind of feel like, this is just my personal feeling, that Ruthie is sort of set up to be disqualified because she's running for mayor. And we have other people running for mayor who we see who are very visible. And it would be a chance for us to see, for people who don't know her, to get a chance to see her. That's not the reason to put her in, but that's also a reason not to hold her out. Ruthie talked for 4 minutes and 12 seconds. I paid attention to detail. The other two had over 9 minutes. So if you talk to them again, please give her the same amount of time. That's it.
Okay, our next one is Angela Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, fellow residents. One, I would like to commend the staff on the award for the funding from Orange County. I was reading through that agreement, understanding that we probably have maybe 3 or 4 grants that are going to be ongoing that are reimbursable grants. A question that I have is, have you done a projected cash flow to ensure that what your timelines are with the particular projects and the spending, that the line of credit that you have is going to be sufficient to make sure that we don't fall into a negative cash flow on the town side? Because we know a lot of times, I think I read in the agreement that, of course, Orange County will work its best and fastest to get those reimbursements in, but and then, are we currently staffed at the appropriate level in the finance department to handle this additional work that's going to be required on the grant accounting management side? If we're not, what consideration is the staff looking at to ensure that there is adequate staffing for that is? And then status update. If you can provide a status update on the analysis of the water reimbursement. And then I would like to appeal to you as the administration to please look at some other municipalities that have a credit-based deposit system and policy for people establishing their water service here. I think it is unfair to individuals that have high credit ratings to be required to pay the same deposit that a person with a poor credit rating has. Also, what is the town's policy for returning deposits on accounts for customers that may have maintained an A rating or B rating with the town? And those are restricted funds. If the town is earning interest on the customer deposits, how are those interest earnings being applied back to the customer's accounts? So the main thing from that is, can we please look at a policy? Duke Energy, Spectrum, all of the places that you go to establish any type of service in a municipality is typically credit-based. And I think that it is very unfair for an individual that has excellent credit to have to pay the same deposit as a person with poor credit. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the last one.
The next item, thank you. The next item is the second reading of ordinance 2026-06, local business preference program.
You'd like me to read the preamble?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2025-06. An ordinance of the town of Eatonville, Florida, amending chapter 20, article 2, division 1 of the town code to establish a local business preference in the acquisition of goods and services, providing definitions, establishing exceptions from local business preference, providing for the application and enforcement of local business preference, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and an effective date.
So you want to add something?
No, I just wanted to state, I just wanted to state that, this is our first step to, including, local businesses, in these opportunities that we have with these grants. So, there are several steps we have to take. We've already, done some training. We need to continue training. I hope we encourage that. But we have a wonderful group of, businesses who have come through the program, and, we're very excited about the future of businesses, local businesses participating.
This,
Okay, well, that's it for now.
you already opened it up.
Thank you.
This item is now open up to the public. If you would like to make any statements on this particular item, please step to the lectern. State your name. Start talking.
I think that already said it was impossible, but I am stressed by people in the community who are licensed electricians, licensed plumbers, but don't have the money to get what, whatever the state requires and insurance and all of these things to qualify to work in this town for big projects. It's just frustrating. That's all. And it's systemic for many people who just can't get access to certain things and the money.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
I won twice, Miss Curry, but go ahead.
I think it's awesome, being a new member of this community and going through the Mayor's Business Development Academy. One thing that was kind of brought to my attention was that there was really nothing, stated within the town that was gonna guarantee any portion of those contracts were gonna go to the small businesses that spent the time out of their evenings away from their family to get the education that they needed to understand what steps they needed to do or that were required by the state or by local government to ensure that they would even have an opportunity to qualify for those contracts. And I think a lot of those small businesses would be remiss or would be disappointed come time for the bidding process, even with that education, because of exactly what she stated. Whether it's a resource problem, it's an education problem, or it's an opportunity issue, that those larger companies that have the same qualifications, whether it be a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, to come in here and take those resources out of the town of Eatonville. This is gonna be one of the only things that's gonna guarantee that no matter what background you come from, that those local monies are able to stay here. At least a portion of them will be guaranteed to the small businesses that put in the effort, that put in the time, and that put in the trust in the municipality. I think it's an awesome effort by you, Ms. Mayor, and Ms. Valerie, and it's gonna pay off to the small businesses here tremendously.
For the record, his name. Tell your name.
Bring that.
What's your real name is?
It's Bradley Mack with you.
Is there anyone else?
How about what Brad said?
State your name.
I stole it from him earlier.
My name is Donald Stokes. I'm representing attention to detail from Eatonville, Florida, and I just basically piggyback what he said. We need to fight for us. We let this money leave this town because we just there's those big old companies out there. One thing we just maybe missing is the funding and certain things like that, but equipment and stuff like that. But all those things we work out, we just need to fight for each other. So, like bro say, let's do this for us.
Is there anyone else? Right in 3, 2, 1. This item is now closed for the public, and you have heard the preamble. Is there a motion to approve? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. It is done. Thank you. And now we're ready for the second reading of ordinance 2025-8, amending division 2 of Article 6. Ms. King, preamble.
Ordinance 2025-8, an ordinance of the town of Eatonville, Florida, amending Division 2 of Article 6, Code Enforcement of Chapter 2, Administration of the Town's Code of Ordinances, to dissolve the Code Enforcement Board and establish provisions for code enforcement by special magistrate, providing for codification providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
You have heard the preamble. This item is now open for any public comments. If you'd like to speak to this item, please go to the lectern, state your name, and begin speaking. In 3, in 2, and 1. All right, the public period is now closed. You've heard the preamble. Is there a motion?
Move. Second question.
It's been moved and seconded, Councilman.
I just want to make a statement, really. I'm glad we came to a point of passing the first reading, and I'm pretty sure this second one is gonna pass as well. It's long overdue. I think, we definitely need to, continue doing the work of the citizens, you know what I'm saying? Because we had so many complaints about this and about that. And then also to the, benefit of, Mr. Brewer, well, to the benefit of code enforcement, I won't say any names, we definitely need to get him some, help. I said that during, budgeting time, and I'm saying it still. I know he's under the direction of the police, department now, but we definitely need to get him, someone to assist him with doing the duties that he does, because it's a lot of work. I know Eatonville is a small community, but it's a lot of property around here with, a lot of different things going on. So this is gonna definitely help enhance the avenue of, changing the trajectory of how, you know what I'm saying, how we do things in, Eatonville now, especially with the magistrate that we're putting in place now, you know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be meaningful now. It's not gonna be the people that, who know who, so kudos to us for making this hopefully approved. That's all I got.
All right, you've heard the, yes, Councilman.
Yes. I just want to know with the magistrate, how does this work? Is this something that will have to be advertised?
For the
For
magistrate,
the, yeah,
yes,
for the
we
magistrate?
have to hire someone for that position.
So the magistrate will report to the mayor? Would that be a position? Report to the mayor? How does it
Magistrate
work?
doesn't report to anybody. Magistrate is independent. Now, the council can fire the magistrate, but the magistrate is independent or it wouldn't work. It's like hiring or firing a judge. You don't report to anybody. You simply hear the facts of the case in front of you and make a decision.
Now, my next question too, I'm glad we brought that
Wait, hold
up.
on.
No,
Sorry.
no, I have something else I want to ask. It's whether or not the code enforcement board members have been notified or informed about this change.
They were not, and I thought they were, but I found out today that they were not. So those that called me and asked me, they are informed, but in regards, I think we can send out a notice.
Now-
Ms. King, can you make sure a notice is sent out to the board members?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's something that we should have did way before.
Is that it, Councilwoman?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Like I said, that's something that we should have probably did way before, I guess we didn't know if it was gonna be approved or not, I guess, so that it doesn't make sense. But I know it's a lot of people that serve on that board that enjoy serving on that board, but I think sometimes you have to turn a new leaf. And no offense to anybody that do serve on that board, but I think we need to go a different direction in how we operate, as far as the code enforcement, because, we haven't been really doing things, in a timely manner, if that makes sense. So, I think this is gonna put us in a position to do things in a timely manner and make sure that we're getting things done across the board. So, with that being said, I'm gonna definitely put my condition on it. Yeah, that's it.
I will also say that those board people, yes, we do need to inform and notify them, but then we can also shift them to other boards where we have vacancies or we need other people on to them. So I think that can be something that we bring back to you all also.
Yeah, and I can't reiterate enough, Mayor, on how important that is for us to hire a new, someone to help the code enforcement, because I think it's crucial, especially with, us, being the magistrate that we're gonna have coming in now. And we're gonna have, more eyes on what's going on in the community as well, just as, instead of one set of eyes, we can have two set of eyes. And I think it'll be a little bit more, satisfying for the community also. Again, I think, we definitely need to look into amending the budget, but perhaps adding another code enforcement.
It's in there. It's a part-time in the budget already.
Okay, great,
So,
okay, thank you.
Steen had something, right?
And just for the record, the current board will still be active and exist until we do get a magistrate. And my recommendation would be to extend the invitation for them to be a part of the Board of Adjustment, because that board does not have a quorum, and we need a board.
So when we anticipate them, getting a magistrate, I know it's gonna cost.
There's a process, you gotta go through the RS.
So what's the time frame?
Once it passes, if it passes tonight, then we can go ahead and get RFP, have it ready for you, the first council meeting, say in January. Leave it out there, Attorney Shep, you think 2 weeks?
2 weeks should be plenty, but you go longer, but that's up to you guys. And the way the ordinance reads, it's not effective, i.e. the board doesn't go away until if I remember correctly, I think it says 30 days after the selection of the magistrate. So let's suppose that by the end of January or early February, we've selected the magistrate. 30 days from whenever that selection occurs is when the ordinance is effective. And that means that in between that time, the board can continue to meet, and then the magistrate would take over.
Thank you for the clarity.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry, may I have one more question? What is the anticipated salary for that position?
It's based
How
on,
does that work?
let me explain. It's based on the RFP, because unlike the RFQs we're talking about, where it's just qualifications, this is one where they will add a price tag. I'll give you an example that this is not standard, because everybody's different. I just was re-awarded the contract for the magistrate at Kissimmee. Mine was based on a minimal number of hours and a minimal amount of money. In my case, it's significantly more than most. It's like $2,600 a month for my services as magistrate. Of course, they have a lot of cases. It's a lot bigger city. But that having said, that's not typical. Ordinarily, it is based on an hourly rate. The magistrate would set forth whatever that rate is. You would look at the magistrate's or potential magistrate's credentials and the rate, and then you would make a selection. And while again, typically you choose low bidder, this is one of those jobs where what you really need is qualifications. The only other thing I would add into the mix, because this did come up during my renewal in Kissimmee, is 2 other firms put in, but there's a real issue that people need to understand it, and some apparently even magistrates don't understand it. You can only serve one city at a time. So if I'm the magistrate for Kissimmee and I wasn't the town attorney here, I couldn't apply for this job unless I quit the job there. It's like a resign to run thing. So if I'm a magistrate for Ocoee, I can't be the magistrate for Kissimmee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They had people put in, they were already magistrates somewhere else. That disqualified. So.
And Councilwoman, to answer that question, we already still paying the attorney to be at board hearings anyway, so we can go through and find the financial implications on it, but we were already paying for attorneys to be here for the board as well, so.
Okay. Thank you.
So is that something that we need to be in the advertisement for the position? Do we need to make certain that we put that note to remind them, or should they know that?
If they don't know, that's disqualifying to me. I mean, that's, if you're an attorney, you don't know that you can't, it's the same as resign to run law. You can't hold 2 offices at the same time, and the magistrate is considered an office.
All right. You've heard, it's been motioned and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. All right, ordinance 2025-8 has been approved. Next is the consent agenda for item number 4. Naming the capital improvements. Is there a motion? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed. Moving right along. The next item are the items that were attached.
So those 2025-43 and 2025-44. It's no need to,
Yes.
because we did not fill the position, so we don't need to vote on those tonight.
So if you go further down to 2025-45. Approval of resolution 2025-45 authorizing the town attorney to foreclose on the code enforcement lien.
Preamble, resolution number 2025-45, a resolution of the town council of the town of Eatonville, Florida, authorizing the town attorney to foreclose on the code enforcement lien against property located at 118 Bethune Drive, providing for scrap repair and effective date.
You have heard the preamble. Is there a motion? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, it has been approved.
So can we knock this out?
Oh. Well, there's the joke about lawyers filing foreclosures on Christmas Eve. I think we'll try to avoid that joke. But it'll be early in the new year.
All right, and then the final items are the items from the council workshop that were moved over. One is a walk-on.
No, number two, the approval of purchase of patrol vehicle for Eatonville Police Department was moved down, and number three.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
2025-40.
You got the question too.
All right,
Yeah, all right.
so approval of purchase of patrol vehicle for the Eatonville Police Department. Is there a motion?
Second with question.
It's been moved and seconded. Council.
Question.
Council.
Yes, okay, is Chief here? No,
No, yes.
he left. Wish he was here because I definitely wanted, to ask a couple of questions, concerning this, even though it's a grant, which is great, right? But, I do want to get more familiar with having more of a, uniform, police department, because I know we got various, vehicles that have different colors and, it's just not a good look for the community, I know you guys do a sensational job policing, but I want you guys to look good while you're working also. And I think we need to manage, the maintenance on whatever vehicles we're gonna get to. I don't wanna sit here and approve something and we get a bucket, basically. So getting something that's not gonna be substantial for us. You get down the road, 3-4 months down the road and it's breaking down and we're spending more money than we anticipate. Police department is already the highest budget, in the town anyway. So we don't want to continue, going down the direction of, just getting things that is not gonna be manageable, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's important that we do capital improvement. I speak about that every, election. I mean, every, budget time, capital improvement is important, and especially when you got grants out there that we can take advantage of. And it's more important that we got people like Ms. Monday that could probably, facilitate and do things that could bring more money in the town on, the police side also to, better suit us with having better vehicles. Because, as of now, I know we had a surplus of vehicles that came in, but, like how they run it, so I want to make sure that our police officers are driving in efficient vehicles that are not gonna break down and not gonna cause maintenance every, time you turn around. So I just wanted to get some clarity, on that with this particular, grant that we got.
So Councilman, I can, actually, Chief and I, to let everybody know before, Councilman, I have meetings with staff and, this is a certified vehicle that will be coming in. So there will be a warranty. And to give you a little background, this came from Chief. Since he's been in, they've been able to obtain over 10 EPD vehicles in the past 2 years, and the budget cost was only $24,000. All those cars came from like Orange County and other police agencies, so we didn't have to pay for the retrofit and all those things, which is more money that's accumulated with that. And then he's also recently orchestrated obtaining 3 vehicles, 2 F-150s and a F-250 cabinet truck for public works, along with golf carts and all that. So those costs are down because, and a lot of reasons we were having these vehicle problems where there wasn't proper maintenance and proper logs going on. Since he's been in the department, they have been maintaining with logs and make sure they're getting the checkups and tune-ups, things that they need.
Right.
So he's been able to facilitate. So this truck will be coming from, it's an FDLE grant. Plus, as you see in documentation, we had 2 loss of vehicles, add those 2 together to be able to cover. So that's the budget implication, but it's money that's already been allocated.
Right, and then with that being said, I appreciate you, for giving me that, clarity on that also, but I think we also need to do a better job with, just the appearance, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at every department in any other municipality, they're uniform, you know what I'm saying? And I wanna make sure that we're being uniformed as well. We wanna, cause, it's kind of eyesore when I see different vehicles. You got a black one, you blue, you got
You
gray.
said the color scheme.
Yeah, color scheme, we need to look a little bit more, professional. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? We need, if our officers are looking good in their uniform, we want the vehicles to look good as well. Cause it's a different respect that people have for that when they see that, you know what I'm saying? We want them to have the same notion when they ride through Maitland and Winter Park, that we ain't playing no games either, in terms of just, even though we got, police officers that are, out here continuously doing, a great job, but, I just think we need to, manicure and do a better job with just, making our vehicles a little bit more suitable as
Yes, sir.
far as, how they look. So,
Yes, sir.
All right, Councilwoman.
Okay, I just had one question pertaining to this. I just wanted to know the $19,355 that's going to be reimbursed. When the reimbursement covers those vehicles, what happens to the $19,000 that's being reimbursed? Does it go back into, where does it go?
So we have those checks that have come in. They go back into the vehicle line in the police budget. Because those police vehicles, so it's going back in that line item of the police vehicles, and that would be the same line item that the vehicles are purchased out of, the vehicle he's trying to get his purchase out of.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. And then we are ready for resolution 2025-40. Establishing a policy governing charitable contributions. Ms. King.
Resolution 2025-40, a resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of Eatonville, Florida, establishing a policy governing charitable donations made by the mayor and town council.
All right, you've heard the resolution. Is there a motion?
Right.
It's been moved and seconded.
Question.
Councilwoman.
Okay, just a couple questions on this item. I was trying to figure out how did this come about after 4 years? When the RSM report, the Orange County government, report came about. So here is 4 years later to establish a policy. Did something come through telling us to establish a policy, or was it done back then?
So, Councilwoman, I did go back and talk to the executive director of the CRA, and the reason this came about was because of the RSM and because we're trying to not have a sunset in the CRA. Orange County, when they're going through the recertification for our CRA program, is asking for a charitable donation policy, which they're saying that the CRA needs to adopt the town policy. I did talk to Mr. Shepherd about this, I think a week or two ago, because I don't think the CRA is supposed to have a policy, it's supposed to be only on the town side, correct, Attorney Shepherd?
The CRA is not supposed to take charitable donations. There's a limit on what you can spend TIF on, and charitable donations is not on that list.
So we had to put it on the town side because this is one of the recommendations that's coming from Orange County to get us recertified in the CRA.
Okay,
And this has been vetted by Attorney Shepherd as well.
okay, all right, that's good. Now I'd like to ask one more question concerning this. Of all of this is good. I think it's great. But how much of the taxpayers' dollars can be used for this purpose? Is there gonna be a set amount, a limit on how much funds can go to a charitable organization? So we can be consistent?
That's your policy. I would suggest to you, it shouldn't be high number, but it's your policy.
Right, so I would think that would have to go into a budget line item. That would be my recommendation, to put it into a budget line item, and that's what we go with. So if you say for the year, it's gonna be $3,000 and $3,000 or what it is. This policy simply states that anything over $100
Yes.
would have to go through the process of it. So we can go back, I'll give Ms. Gibson to see where it's at in the budget, or if there is a line in the budget for that, and I'll get that information back over to you.
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you.
All right, so it has been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed. It is approved. Those are all the decisions, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we just got two discussions.
We're now ready for the discussions brought over from the workshop. One is a discussion of ordinance 2025-7. Since it's a discussion item, I'm going to give it over to you.
Yes, I know we got Ms. Tara here, and I just wanted her to kind of get up if she can and kind of give, more indication on how this, because like I said, though, I left out of here last meeting trying to kind of wrap my head around how, everything works, and I know it's a lot of sophistication within the grounds of it because it's so tedious on what you can do and what you can't do during this time, during hurricanes, and if this happens, you can't build this, and if you do build it, you can't build it to a certain amount. Like, kind of like give me, if you can, just, briefly, you ain't gotta go all into the details like you did last time. Kind of give me some clarity on, because I know I would definitely like to, put this particular item back on the agenda for next meeting. For the next meeting. I know it failed, but I still want to put it back on the, agenda and bring it back before this board, whether they vote it up or down again. Because I got a better understanding now, but I just wanted to make sure that we have some clarity within, the citizens in the town. And I don't know if anybody else, was somewhat puzzled like I was, but I was somewhat puzzled. And I just want some clarity if you can.
So that I can better serve and answer that question, what
Okay.
clarity do you need? Do you want me to redo the presentation or?
Not entirely because it was a lengthy presentation and I don't want you to go through all that.
Sure, so what?
One of my main things was probably being able to not bill back if a percentage of it had, like, can you kind of give us?
So I believe what you're referencing is the nonconformity section in the land development regulations. So one of the discussions that we had in the item, a part of making that review to determine whether or not you wanted to add duplexes to R2 is I presented roughly 25 parcels of land that already had existing duplexes.
Right.
And right now, currently in the code, then that if anything were to happen, they're considered non-conforming uses. So if there's partial destruction, when 50% or more
Right.
of the property has been destroyed, they will lose the ability to have that use.
Yes.
So one of the questions, and my understanding, what happened December 2nd was the ordinance that was before you was not about the nonconformity use, it was to permit duplexes as of right.
In the R2 zoning.
In the R2 zoning.
Right.
And I presented this list of duplexes. It's a couple of slides. One slide. This particular list identified all of the duplexes that exist today.
Right.
So the ordinance was to just permit duplexes by right. The other discussion that happened was, there were several discussions on it, but one discussion was, it seemed that a lot of the elected officials were okay with what was existing, but didn't want new duplexes. So the ordinance that was before you would have permitted new duplexes in addition to what is up on the screen. So the vote down on that ordinance was to not permit the duplex as a right. The attorney at the time also suggested that you could look at your non-conforming uses. That would not be the same ordinance, but that would be to change the percentage. So you could go all the way up to 95 or 98 or anything
Right.
you wanted to allow those duplexes to rebuild under catastrophe situations.
Right.
Or even abandonment.
Yeah, that's why
That is a separate ordinance.
That's a separate ordinance,
That
so
has
we have to
nothing
bring
do
that.
with it. If I can,
Yes,
and
yeah.
just because I want to make sure we're real clear. Right now, there's no zoning in the city where duplexes are of right.
R3.
R3, okay, so right now, the only place, if I had a property zoned to R3 where I could have a duplex is R3. That means if there was a space big enough, if there was a lot big enough in R3 zoning category and I wanted to put a duplex, I could just come in and apply for a permit and put it up. But there are a lot of duplexes that are already existing in R2 that are non-conforming because that was a permitted use. It's no longer a permitted use. That makes them non-conforming, and that's where the restoration upon catastrophe comes into play. And we kind of got sidetracked on that because some people said, well, what if it gets blown down in a hurricane or whatever? And if it's over 50% under your current code, you can't build it back. But that was not in front of you. What was is, do you want to make an ability for people who are R2 zoned to put in new duplexes? So let's suppose I have a standard size lot,
Right,
or at least one that's big enough to put in a duplex.
right.
I can't do that. That's illegal for me to do. But if I wanted to do that and you made it legal, then I could do it as right, just like in the other, in R3, I could come in and ask for a permit and I could start building
And I
everything.
think that's what I'm leaning towards. I think that we should be able to, if that makes sense, even if we have to buy another piece to add on to it, just to meet the, qualification.
That would be up to the property owners, yes. But so that was what was before you that was voted down, and I will point out unanimously. However, if you want it brought back, the ordinance doesn't need to change because that ordinance is different than what we're talking about with build back. So let's suppose, for the sake of discussion, so you understand, that we stayed with a certain situation that we're in now, which is that ordinance is down. Not gonna be any new duplexes, but you are concerned about the existing duplexes not being able to build back because the 50% threshold, in your opinion, is too low or too high. I guess it's too low. So you'd like to make it easier. So if someone even got 90% destroyed, they'd still be able to build back if they already have a duplex. That separate ordinance hasn't even been drafted, but it can be done. But the two things shouldn't be confused with one another because they really don't have anything to do with one another. The first question is, do you want duplexes of right in R2? And if you do, that means you will possibly see, no guarantee, new duplexes in property zoned R2. If you get the answer still no, you're not interested, then that stays dead. But if you want to make it easier for people who already have duplexes to build back, then that's a different instruction. You tell me what percentage you want, and I will come in and maybe I'll just make it up. Maybe I'll say, okay, 75%. Then y'all have the debate at that time. I think it should be 90. Okay, because that first reading, second reading, you can make that adjustment. That's how that would go. But they're two separate issues.
Well, I just want to be able to, provide the opportunity to build back regardless of whatever percentage it is. But I know you're telling me lawfully that there's certain things that I can't do according to one ordinance that we have in place, and then on the other half, which have nothing to do with the other one, right?
Yeah.
But I want to be able to, establish the opportunity to, build something back regardless.
Well, if it was R2 and you passed the ordinance, the whole restrictions on build back wouldn't apply because then they would be conforming uses. It's only because currently they're
I think
non-conforming
that's where I'm at.
that the percentages matter.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that, because that's why I want to bring this item back to our next council meeting to, if, that could, happen. And either vote it up or down, you know what I'm saying, because I got a different, conviction on it now that I, somewhat understand and really, analyzing everything that's, in front of me now, you know what I'm saying? So I just, want to bring this item back for our next, council meeting.
What would the effect be on rental if we allow this?
I think, if I can answer, I've actually been doing some data analysis as well on doing that. There's a couple other things that I have not, because I just heard about the item coming back. I haven't had an opportunity to talk to, the town attorney either, but, when I look at it, if it was permitted by right, it's those top 9, duplexes that then have rights restored. The bottom on that, they'll all still not meet criteria, but they can go through a variance process. If they were new, I looked at all of R2, and there are roughly 50 parcels in the town that if this were to go into effect, that they could potentially do a duplex. However, when I look at some of the math on that, it doesn't seem like it would be a market thing that anyone would do. But what I wanted to get clarity on is, can we do, at time of adoption, lots cannot be combined to create the duplex? Can we add that caveat?
You could, if that was the desire of council.
Yeah, we can adopt that.
Which, based on what I'm hearing from Councilman Mack, he wants them to be able to do that.
Right.
Right, but if there was a 2 acre lot and they didn't want those to be subdivided, we could add a category that
Sure.
would not allow
Right.
additional subdividing, and anybody that had 11,000 square feet lots that existed today could have a duplex legally. So when I did that evaluation, there will be no parcels that can do R2, except for the ones that have been identified, if we cap that at 11,000 square feet. So you're looking at, and some of the parcel data isn't always accurate, but I would say, you're looking at right now, 3% of your housing units are duplexes in the town. If you were to allow all of them to be in compliance, it would be 6% of your total units. But if we do cap it, with there can't be subdivided to become a duplex, then, you're looking at, 3% again.
So if we approve it, would we in essence be creating a hardship for those that now can want to go back and do a variance? If we pass the ordinance, right, for those that don't fit, could they now be justified in coming back or coming to and requesting a variance?
If I understand the question, you've got people on lots that are non-conforming, so even if duplexes were permitted, they would still be a non-conforming use because they're on too
It's a
small a lot.
non-conforming lot.
Right, and so the answer is no, they wouldn't be justified in coming in for a variance because they're non-conforming, not because of the use, they're non-conforming because of the lot size.
Okay.
So unless you're gonna change the idea of what is an appropriate lot size, there's no reason for them to. And those would still be subject to the build back requirements, which
Okay.
means you'd still have the issue of whether you want them to build back even if they're destroyed, more than 50%. That's again, a separate issue, separate discussion. All this would solve with the 11,000 square foot limit for a lot would be that the current ones that have conforming lots and duplexes would be able to always have them and build them back no matter what the percentage of
They
that's their
might be able
construction.
to do additions.
Yes, they could make them larger and that sort of thing, because
As long as they meet the setbacks.
right, on a non-conforming use, the rules are, A, you can't build back if it's over whatever the established percentage is, and currently that's 50% of destruction. And B, you can't enlarge the non-conforming use. So if it was a duplex that was, let's say, 1,000 square feet total, you couldn't make it 1,500, even if you could otherwise accommodate it on your lot, because you can't enlarge a non-conforming use.
Okay.
Yeah, that would show a variance if we do that, but we're not trying to do that. We're trying to just build back outright.
And I did have one more.
Yeah.
Is this a quasi judicial item?
Well, for this is just a discussion,
So I mean,
but when
if
it
this-
comes back,
Would it be
it
quasi-judicial?
is no, it's legislative.
Legislative.
Judicial would be whether you were applying the ordinance to a given property.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's why I brought it back, because I know it's a legislative issue
Alright,
that I
thank
want
you.
to bring back to the table and put on the next agenda. So that's my
Alright.
that's what I want to do.
I got one question on that ordinance you were talking about.
Which one?
The property set an ordinance on.
On percentages,
Bill back? Okay.
You say you can make something up, you draw something up.
Yeah, it's just a matter of adjusting it's like a slider. Right now it's at 50%. You want it at 70, you want it at 80, you want it at 95. Right now it's at 50. So if you have 51% destruction, you can't build back. If you like that, you don't think that slider is fair, you slide it further to the high column. If you think, no, we want them to not build back if it's over 30%, you slide it in the other direction. Right now you're dead in the middle.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks.
Say, Council, you're good. Oh, thank you.
If you want it back, then someone will have to make the motion to rescind and it'll have to pass. Because right now, just asking for it doesn't get it there.
But that's my intentions, when I do bring it back to the, table. So hopefully this item be on the next, agenda.
So for clarity, can you get that clarity again, Carly?
Yes. In order for it to come back, it's already been through the full set of hearing that it needed to be first reading and it failed unanimously. So in order for it to come back, someone, it could be you, needs to make a motion to rescind your previous vote
And that was my,
and action.
yeah,
And then if it gets a second and you'll vote on it by enough votes, 3 in this case, then it could be brought back for a first reading again. So.
okay, so I would have to, rescind my motion.
Make a motion to rescind the action of denying that ordinance.
Yeah, I wanna, rescind my motion to deny the,
So is there a motion to rescind the approval of the denial of
Ordinance.
ordinance
Whatever it is.
2020?
so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor say,
I have a question. Did you say they could build, if we pass this, it's 50 properties, like they could build 50 new duplexes? Did you say that?
No, there's currently, at least 50 duplexes that exist. If you brought back an ordinance and voted yes to that ordinance, the way the ordinance is written today, there are 9 existing duplexes that would meet the criteria in the proposed language for R2. You do have additional, they will all still be non-conforming lots because they're smaller than what the R2 is proposing, because it has to be consistent with the comp plan. So it has to be 11,000 square feet to be consistent with comp plan, so it can't go lower. So all those other 20 something will continue to be non-conforming.
so it could still possibly increase, if someone wants to build, it could still increase our rental percentages a little.
Potentially,
Possibly.
if you could also add additional criteria onto the ordinance to ensure you didn't have that. Yes.
Right. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor of rescission?
Right.
All opposed? Nay.
It fails. Because of the time. For now, it'll stay off.
Next item,
Yeah, the next item, I wanna discuss is the, engineering. I know,
thank you, Summer.
I know, Attorney Shepherd, thank you, I know Attorney Shepherd spoke on this, about how that worked, and it's kind of like, I guess, backwards than what we normally would. Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm just listening. I wanted to know what the question was.
About the, engineering, how to, so first of all, I know we had, a committee, right?
Yes.
That did the grading for these different engineering companies that we do have. One in particular that worked within the town, which is CPH. And I know we have 3 others that doesn't really do a lot of work, I guess, especially the scope of work that they are doing, but they are capable of doing it. And I wanted to make sure that they're not missing out on the opportunity, just like the small businesses that we spoke about with the class that you're gonna have. But I neither here nor there, I think we just need to open the door of opportunity for other people to have the opportunity to get some work in instead of the same people grabbing, all these different jobs and leaving everybody else behind. I know from a legal standpoint, Attorney Shepherd had kind of explained it to us, but I think we need to grade these things differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to do something different. I don't know how we came up with the numbers, but in some avenues, we got one company that has something that they're better at than the other company, especially the ones that was, rated the highest. So like, how do you, because it was a lot of close numbers, believe it or not. And to all fairness, I think, we just need to spread the wealth at the end of the day. Basically, giving everybody else an opportunity to get a chance to, do some work for the town of Eatonville also, instead of just one monopoly of one company being able to do it. You know, that's my belief. That's why I want to kind of discuss, how can we go about, you know, doing something different that would put everybody on the same level and playing ground versus just having one company. And then we're gonna have to have this company bid first, right? They'll get the opportunity to be able to bid first. And once they do that, they may like the number, then it just leaves the other three behind. Like we're doing now, you know, and I don't think it's fair. It's not fair.
So much money for you answer. Because of the question, it was a loaded question. I'm gonna let the attorney address that and then we'll let Ms. Monday come in on what the process is like right now.
So, at first, it helps to go back and revisit where we are. This is an RFP, request for qualifications. No, not a request for price, not a request for a proposal, but for the qualifications of the people who applied. It has nothing to do with, in terms of what the law requires you to look at and what it requires you to not look at, with whether they work for the town, have worked for the town in the past, may work for the town in the future. It has to do with, on paper, who does the committee that you all chose think is the most qualified?
I don't think I chose any committee.
Hang on. I don't know how they got selected.
I don't even know who on the committee. That's why I asked.
Well, they actually were announced last time. It was the Melissa Renee. It was a member of staff, Ms. Chua. Am I saying
That was one of my questions I asked, and I never got the answer to it. Who are the members that was on that
There were
committee?
4, I remember that.
I never got any answers
It
to it.
was listed.
It was Mo, Ms. Chua, it was,
Mustafa, who's
Mustafa,
also with,
who-
GCI,
right.
Dr. Johnson,
Dr. Johnson.
and Elaine True.
Okay, so that was the committee. And so they did what they were tasked with doing, which is to rank the qualifications of the folks. If you follow the statute and don't go further, you have another option. I'm going to get to that. Then you would say we accept or we reject their rankings. Their rankings were what they were, and I think CPH must have been at the top of the list, yes. And if you accept them, then the next thing would be for the negotiating team to go in and then talk price. And if they can't come to terms with the first ranked party, then they go to the second. So all this is dictated by law. This has nothing, there's no options in here. The only option is for the committee to have seen the qualifications differently. So that leads me to the second option. If you do not like the rankings of the committee in terms of how they view qualifications, you can make your own rankings of qualifications, but it needs to be based on the same criteria, not prior experience with the town or the lack thereof or any of those things. It has to be on qualification. So you might come to a different conclusion because you might see through prism differently, but the criterion you're supposed to use to get there is the exact same as those 4 people. So that will not change. And that's what you need to know. But you can say.
I have a different analogy on how I look at it and process it.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's different. Everybody got an opinion on how they source and look at things different than I do. You know what I'm saying? I may think that somebody else is more qualified than this individual. That doesn't make it right or wrong, right? That's just my opinion.
There are basically 3 choices. So you can go with the recommendation you were given. You can make your own choice, or you can redo it all over again. But there really are only those 3 choices. There's no other
I
option.
don't like the way it's been done. I don't like the processing of it. And I strongly recommend that we do it a different way. Without the committee that have previously done it.
Yes, I got it.
Well,
That's just my opinion.
let me give you my take, and I think you may see there's more opportunity than we're seeing now. First off, we had to move quickly because our end date to get the engineering done is in May.
And see, that's a problem too. Hold on, I'm not trying to cut you off, but that's the problem that we have, that we've been having in this town. We always moving quickly. We always putting the cart before the horse. We're not doing things in a timely manner. You know, when you ask the questions during a meeting or privately, it's always, I'm gonna get to it. You know, this is gonna happen. I didn't see your email. Can we do it this day? No, we gotta be on top of things like this. You know what I'm saying?
That's where the opportunities are in this
Okay.
instance. After we went to the last council, we immediately submitted requests for pricing at this point. We received pricing back from number one and number two. And there's two elements. There's drinking water and then there's wastewater. So that's what we're dealing with. So number one had drinking water, number two had wastewater. The prices came in very high. So what we have to do now is to negotiate. If they do not meet it, we go to number three and number four. There are opportunities, and I'm always looking for opportunities to break packages up small enough so that we could spread the wealth. There are those opportunities that exist. We even have lead service line. There's so many. We have a pool of qualified engineers that there are more opportunities. We're also applying for additional funding for some more neighborhoods. So there's opportunity, and I strongly believe.
And that's one of my question right there, because I want to be able to spread the wealth, right? Just like we have some of these small companies that want to put their hands in the package and, you know, be a part. Just because they're not these big corporations, we want to leave them out. It's not fair, right? You know what I'm saying? You got people within the town of Eatonville, and you said there's going to be some opportunity, right?
Yes.
For them to possibly be able to be a part of that process. And so, in all fairness, if that's what we're gonna do, we can leave it as is, but we gotta move to the point of doing that though. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to talk about it. I want to be able to get these people that are below the people that are here the opportunity to, you know, grasp and get an opportunity to, you know, get some work done also, you know, that's gonna fatten their pockets, you know.
Right, and I agree with that, but I'm sorry, let me just mention, there's one element in our design, which is the asbestos cement piping. And I have to make sure that we have people who actually have experience in doing that. That's why we have to be cautious with that. We do not want someone who does not have experience in working with AC piping, and then, you know,
It shouldn't even be an option if they're not qualified. Like anybody that sit on that committee and in the scope of work that we're getting done, that we need done, they gotta have the qualifications, right?
That process.
So all these 4 engineering companies are well qualified to do the scope of work. It's just that they've been measured under a grading system that kind of had them below the person that was higher than them. Because I'm looking at the numbers, and the numbers are similar. You know what I'm saying? The numbers are not way off from each other. They're somewhat similar to each other. That's why I'm saying here, like, maybe we can do it to a point to, just making it even across the board, man, instead of doing the grading system like we did.
Councilman Mack, it has to be graded, and what happened was those individuals graded, they did not know what each other graded, and then it's the law of averages. Then you take an average of it. And I'll tell you where I told staff when you're talking about qualifications. If by some chance I win this $1.25 billion in the Powerball, and I say that I'm gonna build you a house, and I'm gonna give you $1 million, you're gonna want the most qualified person with the most qualified materials to come in and build you that $1 million house. You're not gonna want someone to come in that's gonna bring you substandard equipment and substandard services in to build that $1 million house for you.
But it shouldn't even be in consideration.
That's why
so we're dealing with people like that?
I would tell
So you're telling me we're dealing with the other 3 people outside of the CBH? That's what we're dealing with?
So
those are people that we're trying to get doing work for us?
So what I would tell you is that people.
But that's what it seems like you're telling me.
No, what I'm telling you, Councilman Mack, is that people will submit bids because everybody wants to eat. So they will submit bids saying that they're able to do something, but by the time you do these qualification times and these interviews, you will find out that they do not have the qualifications, and they're bringing in other people to come in and try to do the work, which may extend your project even longer. And there were some people that came and presented that did not have the capacity to do it, but they said they could. So that's why you go through this process.
Those people were not selected, by the way. The 4 that we have are qualified, and I believe that they will all get an opportunity to do some work. So it's easy for us to give the best opportunities for each. I think we've proven that we can do that. I think we can.
Yeah, because I didn't hear the language last time during our last council meeting, and that's why I kind of wrote in the wrong way, because I just feel like these people are being, thrown to the side, you know, and I feel like, you know, anybody that wants that opportunity to come in here and, you know, do any scope of work that are qualified to do it, you know, give them the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? I know we got a grading system, things of that nature. I know CPA's been doing a whole lot of work at the time of Eatonville, but let somebody else eat also. That's like I said, though. It's me, it's my opinion, it's how I think, it's how I wanna think, and it's how I'm gonna think, regardless of how anybody else think. That's just how I look at it. So it is what it is at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. But then that you said that these particular companies that are not getting opportunity to do the scope of work in the town of Eatonville, but you're saying that they're gonna actually have an opportunity.
I will fight as hard as I can to break these packages up, feasibly small enough. And that's, we're gonna say, use the same practice in construction, is we will break them up small enough, so there may be, small firms. We might have a package small enough for a
Right.
small firm.
Because I don't have a dog in the fight. I just wanna do what's right, though. You know what I'm saying? As a leader, as, you know, someone that sit up here and make decisions based off of, you know, whatever it is that we're gonna do. I'm not being biased about anything. I just wanna make sure that it's fairness across the board. You know what I'm saying? We speak about fairness all the time. And I wanna make sure that we're all on the same boat when it comes to that, because a lot of people get left behind, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you are having this, particular course that you had a lot of people take advantage of, that we had a lot of graduates with a couple of months ago, because it's gonna help the people, the small businesses, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you know, I'm gonna take your word that, you know, things are gonna change. And, you know, we're gonna, you know, turn a new leaf with, you know, doing things that's gonna be, more operational for everybody, so.
Yeah, thank you so much for your faith.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ms. Martin. That was the last item on the agenda, correct?
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with Vice Mayor, would you like to? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Report.
No, you got to swear them in.
So
Can we swear in before we close out, right? Or after?
Yeah, you got to swear them in before we do it.
Can we do it at the next council meeting, allow family to come, if y'all don't mind?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, well,
So you still the interim, CEO?
Gosh, you got dress up. Okay, so. Do you have any report?
So quickly on the report, thank you all for coming out, and thank you all for the vote of confidence on tonight. Real quick, because we've had a long meeting tonight. Don't forget that this Thursday is Christmas on the Boulevard. Please come out and support our youth in the area. It's this Thursday. And I heard the question tonight about policies and all that. There are a lot of policies right now that needs to be changed and updated, and we're working diligently to get that done. We've band-aided things for so long. If we put a band-aid on for decades, we can't expect that it's gonna turn quickly overnight. So we are speedily working through making a lot of drastic changes, and some changes you're gonna like, some changes you may not. But to address the other questions, Ms. Johnson, we are looking into the water deposit restricted funds. We have talked about that in staff meetings, so we will give you an update. Ms. Mundy, along with GCI, have been working along on a cash flow and about the line of credits for all the projects that we're working on. So there is a working document on that. There is a need for additional staff. I just not have had time to, because of all the things that's going on, to bring it back to council. There will be some additional people that need to come in to help govern these grants and all other kind of financial needs. So we're looking at how that will work in budgetary to make sure that it's feasible. That water situation, we're coming very close. We've had to drill down the information to get that. So I've been working with Ms. Gibson on that. And I hear you on the credit base line for the utilities for people that's coming in. That is something that we need to visit. I don't think there's a policy that I know of to be able to do it that way. So that is something that can we look at. But also along this water thing, and to answer your question, Ms. Johnson, we have some people that have water bills that's not in the property owner's name and all that, which causes a problem in itself. So we have to be able to address that first before we can handle the other elephants in the room. Besides that, I want to wish everybody happy holidays and prosperity. That's my report.
Thank you.
I think you all know, but just in case you don't, I will be not in attendance at meetings starting in January. I think I will be at Monday's special meeting. At least that's my intention. I checked my calendar unless I got it wrong. I can still be here for that. I may attend by Zoom. That's a whole different question, but I will definitely be there for that. And after that, I'll be here by Zoom through January 23rd or 4th. I think it's a Friday. Unless there's a need for a lawyer in person, in which case I'm happy to send one, and I will rely on Mr. Daniels to tell me if you want a lawyer in person, we'll have one sitting here in the chair. But I will be available. I will be up in New York, prayerfully hoping that I'm caring for my brand new grandson who's supposed to be born tomorrow.
Congratulations.
That's it.
Yes, that's it.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, man. Thanks everybody for coming out. I wanted to make this announcement last meeting, but Councilman Daniel took my joy, so I didn't take his joy. So 13 years ago, I had a lot of citizens ask me to run for this seat here. I've been here 20 years. They supported me the whole 12 years I've been sitting here. I have people asking me to run for mayor. I consider that, so I am putting my name in the hat to run for Eatonville, seat 1 mayor this coming election. And if I have to resign at the due date of being, qualifying resign of March 2nd, whatever it is, that date, I'll do that. And we should miss on King. But I didn't want the citizens to know that I am running for the town of Eatonville mayor. Thank you.
Councilwoman.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I do have a couple of issues I would like to address. We did receive a notice sometime, maybe about a couple of weeks ago, that we're waiting on the final draft, the proposed draft for the Hungerford property. So I believe, if I'm correct, Mr. Daniels, the meeting is January the 6th.
Yeah, right, 6 at 10 a.m.
At 10 o'clock a.m. Okay.
And Councilwoman, just for clarity, they did say they will allow us
Yes.
to come into that meeting
Yes.
and give input.
Okay. I want to thank Brad for being here, and I know he's been going through something, as far as illnesses with his mom, and hopefully she's doing well, and she's in our prayers. Thank you. Yes. Also, I would like to say that I have a question about the water. Have we established how much are we looking at, or are we looking at anything?
So, Councilwoman, to be perfectly clear, we finally got the download from Edmonds. So now we have to go through and back out months. And then, it's per thousand, so we got to subtract that out. So we're formulating all that now to get it going, and hopefully by beginning of January we can get numbers. But if it comes in before then, we'll send it to you all, and then we can discuss it publicly at a meeting.
Okay, all right. I think that's all, and Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope to see you also. Thank you very much, and very good meeting tonight. Council.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming out and being engaged in council meeting. I think it's important that we, continue, being resourceful about, what's going on in our community. It's important, especially the person that's going to be sitting here. We make a lot of tough decisions. We have to make a lot of educated decisions also. It looks easy from afar, but I can tell you, man, and just off the top of my head, every candidate that was selected to sit in this seat, man, you guys are overqualified. Let's get that right out the bucket. I love y'all. I think everybody that is looking to sit in this seat is more qualified to sit in this seat. Let's make that established. Then on the top of my list also, I just want to give my condolences to anybody that have suffered in the loss. I know we're suffering loss at a rapid rate in this country and, within our cities and everything, man. So anybody that have suffered in the loss, my condolences to you and your family. And also, Mr. Daniels, I know I'll speak with you about this, but I just want to know what are the prognosis of the completion of the hose dam? I know we've been dealing with that for about over 5 years now, and I think it's time for the citizens to know exactly what's going on. And then with that being said, are we gonna get the free Wi-Fi like they said also, because that was something that was in the agreement before building. Also congratulations to everybody that got a proclamation tonight. For everybody that's running for office, listen, thank you for just having the courage, you know what I'm saying, just to run for office, because it's a great commitment, you know what I'm saying, not only to yourself, but to this community and for the people that you're gonna serve, if elected. So it's very important that you be, very mindful on how things work, especially from standpoint of sunshine. That sunshine is nothing to be messed around with. It's at the classes that we have to go to annually, and they're very thorough about everything that we do as elected officials. So just make sure that you've been mindful and thoughtful about everything before moving forward with that. Also, congratulations, again, Mr. Daniels on, being, approved to serve as our CEO. I think you do a tremendous job. And I said it before I even said what I said. There's nobody more qualified that I want to see sit there than you. But at the end of the day, it's about doing things morally right also, right? And you sat in the seat, so you understand where I'm coming from. I want to protect you as well as this council by doing things that is best practice. You know what I'm saying? To me, I just felt like it would have been more sufficient to have you sit in that seat after we went through the election cycle. But neither here nor there, you're there, you deserve to be there, and congratulations. Also, let's see, I'm almost done, yo. Code enforcement. I know we are moving in the direction of doing the magistrate. I know that's gonna take some time. But I definitely want to see the code enforcement that is doing a great job to get the help that he needs, because I know how significant it is out there to just be covering ground within the town of Eatonville. It seems like a small town, but it's a lot to cover. And I don't think it's fair to him to be out there by himself doing all these different walks and drives and, things of that nature. I've been spoke about this when I first got in office, and it's in the budget line. So I don't know why we're not establishing, having someone help them. But anyways, I just like to thank staff. I think you guys do, a great job. I know a lot of times, things happen, and I understand that we're human, right? We're not perfect. God don't intend for us to be perfect. But I think for the better part of it, you guys do a sensational job. You guys have a great leader that's controlling the narrative of, running the day-to-day operations with the town of Eatonville, and just continue doing what you're doing, man, and pushing forward and making sure that everybody's successful, and everybody that's a team member for the town of Eatonville, continue doing what you're doing. I appreciate you guys. For the water rate credit, the credit, I know we speak about this pretty much every meeting. Hopefully we can come to a conclusion on where we can come up with something that's gonna make sense for the town and for the citizens. That is not that feasible, but it's gotta, line up that everybody's okay. The Catalina Policing Center, I know we got into 2026 to come up with some kind of solution on what we're gonna do in terms of the, matter that we're dealing with. I'm gonna have a sit-down discussion with you on that behalf also. So I think that's a very deep and important concern that concerns me. I'm looking forward to December 18th, which is Thursday, Christmas on the Boulevard with the kids. And I think we're in a, season of, just, remembering, what it's all about. It's not always about receiving. It's all about, just loving each other, caring for each other, and doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? I know the kids, love to do the lighting the tree up last week. That was sensational to see all the smiles on the kids' face. And I'm glad I was able to be a part of that lighting of the tree. So if all hearts and minds are set, I got one more question. And Attorney Shepherd, do we have any lawsuits pending against the town of Eatonville?
There are none that I'm aware of. Anybody know anything I don't know? None that I'm aware of.
All right, well, with that being said, this will be my last thing. I know we got a special meeting on Monday. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we can come to a conclusion of getting someone in their seat sooner than later, because we don't want to find ourselves spending money that that's gonna cost us. So hopefully we can come up with, a conclusion on how we can do that and closing this thing out while we can have someone stand up there. Anyone that, that reached that will be, well deserving of it. And, if all minds and hearts are clear, you guys have a great Christmas and, a happy New Year, folks. So, God bless. That's my report.
I'll make this quick, thank you. Condolences to Chester Glover. He was a local person. I know he worked with the county, I believe, and most recently I met him, he worked with Val Deming's office and he has passed. So that was hard. That was hard. Also nationally, Rob Reiner, I don't know if y'all are a Rob Reiner fan. I'm a Rob Reiner fan, so condolences to his family as well. Congratulations, CAO Daniels. And I also ask that this council consider, I know that all of this is over in asterisks, but the real, and it's always nice to give money, but the town cannot afford a water rebate over an asterisk. Nothing was done wrong. I just ask that you consider just doing the right thing because it does come down to a vote, and those are real funds going out of an enterprise fund that was already in a deficit at one point over $1 million. And we're on our rebound from that, and to do this, in all the giving, it also hurts the town, and we're stepping back. So I actually reconsider. I mean, you can get the numbers and Mr. Daniels will get you the information, but it's a mature decision that's going to be needed on that as well. So with all that being said, it is 9:25. I'm moving for adjournment.
So move.
I'm sorry, 29. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. All right, we are adjourned.
So I
Made the change.
Okay, I'll see you.
Yeah, they are getting back to
I'll get the staff,
You don't take on Friday, you wanna make it available.
wanna make sure this is ready.
Alrighty.
They're there, they just not pay for, they can't just sit there. Sit. Yeah.
They to agitate those things.
Sometimes we're down in the. Out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because it'll.
Okay, so they'll be more vigilant.